get started on this so we can get done. Heating and AC test 3 vehicles. HVAC system contains a what system? Heater, air distribution, AC, all of these. What's an air distribution system? Tell me. It tells you where it goes to the, whether it's going to the defrost, in your face, or in the floor, or where it's air distribution. Air conditioning systems control which of the following in a vehicle? Temperature, air cleanliness, humidity. All of those. They control humidity. Don't you know water's draining out on the ground is being dehumidified out of the air? All right. That's one of the reasons that an air conditioner makes the air feel so much better. It conditions it by dehumidifying it. Kill the speaker on the phone. Two technicians are discussing heat movement. Technician A says heat's a form of energy. Is it?
Yes.
Technician B says that heat travels from hot to cold. Hello? Who knows? Is cold what travels, or is heat what travels?
Heat travels.
Heat's the traveler, right? So basically, everything moves from areas of heat to areas of cold. And there will be a certain time, in some time, a long time in the future, if everything keeps going like it is, where you'll have what they call heat death, where no more work can be done. How many of you understand the first law of thermodynamics? The first law of thermodynamics is you can trade matter for energy. Which you burn wood, you get heat, right? You got to trade matter for energy, and you're always going to lose something in the process. The second law of thermodynamics, if I heat up a piece of metal and I walk away, it's going to cool back off, right? Or if I start a wheel turning and I let go of it, it's going to stop turning. Or if I put a brick out in the middle of a field, it's going to melt into mush if you leave it there long enough. I'm talking about you leave it there long enough, this brick turns back into dirt and all that. Okay, the third law is you can't get out of the game. Basically, you can't defeat the first two laws. They're always there, you know. You burn gasoline to get power and heat and all that kind of stuff. Okay, heat intensity refers to which of the following? The heat individuals feel.
B.
The heat individual feel. That's A. The freezing point of water is what on the Celsius scale?
0.
0. The boiling point of water of what on the Fahrenheit scale?
2.
I've actually gone and made hyperbolic statements before about how low the temperature water would boil in Denver, which is a mile high, and it's actually it boils at like 202 or something, you know. So it's a little bit less temperature it takes to boil water in Denver because of lowered air pressure up that way. So just keep that in mind. The lower the air pressure, the easier it is for it to boil. That's why we put radiator caps on vehicles that hold them under pressure, because it raises the boiling point when something's under pressure. Technician A says 1 C of heat can increase the temperature of 1 G of water by 1 degree F. Technician B says the temperature will increase 1 degree C if 1 is added. Which technician is correct? Is that confusing or what? That would be B. The normal temperature for the average human is what?
98.6.
98.6. The amount of moisture contained by air is?
Humidity.
You know that some of the air conditioning systems in our cars now have got humidity sensors so that it can tell what the humidity is, because that's really important. They've also got some of the Sonatas and some of these other cars now have got what they call an air quality sensor. So have you ever been riding behind somebody, you had your air on norm AC, and the truck is spewing out foul smelling exhaust, you know, and you're picking it up? But if you put it on max or recirculate, you won't get that because you're blocking that out. Well, the air quality sensor, what it does is it picks up on this bad exhaust coming out of the car in front of you, or the truck or whatever, and it closes it off automatically. That's what an AQS does. Remember AQS, you've heard about AQS, that's air quality sensor. And, you know, I think Sonatas, Hyundai Sonata had that before anybody else did. I think, I may be wrong about that. In addition to cooling the passenger compartment, the air conditioning system does what? It dehumidifies the air. The purpose of air conditioning is to, believe it or not, it removes moisture, heat, and dust and pollen. dust and pollen, when it goes across that sweaty evaporator, is going to get caught in that water and it's going to go out, right? But you have a cabin air filter on most of them now too. Listen to this, and Melissa, since you're the shop girl, if somebody comes in there on something like a 2001 Pontiac Montana or Chevy Venture or something, and say, I'm not getting much air out of my registers. First thing you do is go to the cabin air filter, because it's probably loaded with leaves and crud. And there's 2 of them in there. You flip the glove box down, you pull a little cover out, you pull this one out, you move her.
Kathy's out on her Monte Carlo, and it was pitch black from all the dust. And everything.
Also, tell you something else. On these Nissan Altimas, you'll get a filter from the parts house that's different from the one that's in there. On the Nissan Altima, it's right up against the firewall above, you know, where what would ordinarily be the tunnel for the transmission. And you pull this cover off, and there's a little hole about this big, but when you got to squeeze that thing up like an accordion and pop it out of that hole, and it's like this big. And then when you get the new one, the parts house sends one that's littler than that one. Don't put that one in there because it's useless,
Right.
unless you're wanting to put 2 of them in there. But in that particular case, you get one from the Nissan place, you're going to squeeze it up into an accordion and poke it in there, and it goes, boom, pops out. But it confuses people because to begin with, they can't find it. But it's not that hard to find if you just keep looking all the way to the front, right in the middle on the passenger side. You can get that thing out of there. And I've known some shops that didn't change them because they couldn't find it.
Right.
You know, but some of them, they're behind the glove box. You got to be able to locate them and all that kind of stuff. And those cabin air filters, the first one they appeared on was on the Ford Contour in 1995, I think. First time anybody ever put a cabin air filter on one. And let's see, where are we going here?
12.
The main source of heat used to warm the passenger compartment is what? The vehicle engine. That wasn't hard, was it? Keep moving, y'all. The 3 states of matter are what? What are the 3 states of matter?
Solid, liquid.
Solid, liquid, and vapor. Technician A says the freezing point of a substance is the temperature at which a substance changes from a solid to a liquid. Technician B says the freezing point of a substance is the temperature at which a substance changes from a liquid to a solid.
B.
That's going to be B there. Is it?
Yeah.
Is he right? Says the freezing point. Wait a minute. Solid to a liquid, liquid to a solid. That's B, isn't it? What is the vaporization? How hot does steel have to get before it vaporizes?
Ridiculously hot.
It like 400, 500.
No, 3,000 degrees.
Ridiculously hot.
And whenever the space shuttle is coming in for re-entry, those towels on the surface of that thing are 3,000 degrees. It's hot enough to vaporize steel. And those towels have got you can take one of those towels if you hold it in your hand. You can hold it in your hand, you can take a acetylene torch and hold it on the other side of it, and you'll never feel any heat. That's how those towels are made.
Dude, that'd be awesome to have.
It's good stuff, yeah. The measurement of the actual weight of water in a given volume of air is what?
Absolute pressure.
That's relative humidity.
I knew that.
Second rate amateur. The amount of water air can hold depends on what?
C.
Air temperature. Let me ask you this. Have you ever looked at the weather and you see where it says dew point?
Mm-hmm.
The dew point is like 61 degrees or whatever. What does that mean? What does it mean to you?
Dew, is that where the dew stops forming?
Huh?
Is that where dew stops forming?
Well, it's basically if you hit the dew point, if the dew point and the temperature come together, you have fog. So if you ever look and you see that the temperature is 61 and the dew point 61, there will be fog. That's how they know that. I mean, that's how they say fog advisory and all that, see. 1 BTU is equal to what?
32.
How many calories? 252 calories. What does BTU stand for? Butane?
Barometric temperature.
Please. Somebody tell me.
I used to know.
Johnny, come on. Do you know, don't you? British thermal units.
Sure.
British thermal unit. So what is a British thermal unit?
I think you're just making
It's
stuff up
252
now.
calories.
Huh?
He watched top of the air.
It's the amount of heat required to raise 1 pound of water 1 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so if you were going to show somebody a BTU, how would you do it? you would strike a match. That's 1 BTU. Familiar? Got it? Now repeat that other back to me. 1 pound of water raised 1 degree Fahrenheit. That's the amount of heat required to raise 1 pound of water 1 degree Fahrenheit. That is a British thermal unit. Got me? Everybody got that, right? Okay, so how much does 1 cubic centimeter of water weigh?
1 BTU?
1 gram.
Yeah.
Can you remember that? How much does 1 ounce of water weigh? An ounce. How much does 16 ounces of water weigh? A pound. So a pound and a pint is the same. Water's the standard, guys, because water is something everybody can have, you know. But if you got a cubic centimeter of water, you got a gram. A paper clip weighs a gram. You got it? You need to burn this in. This is important stuff. Got me? You can remember that, can't you? Quincy got a mind like a steel trap. He don't forget nothing in there, right, Quincy? You'll be able to repeat that back to me next week, won't you?
No.
Listen to him. He's already setting himself up for failure. He said,
Hey, I was
shaking his head.
yep.
I was trying to talk him up. Okay. A burning kitchen match gives off how many calories?
Wait a second, you missed
252?
18.
252?
252. Let's back up to 18. Which of the following is true about heat?
B.
All of these. Heat always travels from something warm to something cold. Heat's a form of energy. Heat's cold is the lack of heat. And number 20, many late model vehicles use what to help clean the air?
Condenser filter.
Cabin air filter. And how many microns? What's a micron, by the way?
5 million.
What's a micron?
Tiny.
Tell me what a micron is. You've heard of microns. What is a micron?
Tiny unit of measurement. Never heard of it.
Well, that's sort of generic, Joe.
You do not know detail.
A micron is a millionth of a meter. Got it? A millionth of a meter. So what does that mean? If it's a millionth of a meter, how many millimeters are there in a meter?
Million.
Please. 1,000. There's 1,000. See? 1,000 millimeters. So how many microns are there in a millimeter?
100,000.
Didn't you just get out of school? Saunders?
No, it's
You're a school guy.
Back.
How many meters, how many millimeters are there in a meter?
1,000.
1,000. How many microns in a millimeter?
100. No.
1,000.
1,000.
Thousand's a million, right?
Right.
Are you guys even thinking today or what?
Nope.
I'm asking good questions here. This is stuff you need to know. I mean, I'm not asking you how fast the Earth travels through space as it's going around the sun.
I hope not, because I'm going to say really fast.
Huh? What?
Isn't it like 1,000,000 miles?
66,000 miles an hour. You should know that. Okay?
Stuff you
All right.
cannot